Trish Contreras. I am the secretary of the Texas Progressive Caucus. I love seeing the collaboration that happens between Progress Texas and a lot of these organizations, especially grassroots organizations. So that's what I love about it.
It's Tuesday, January 13th, 2026, and this is the Progress Texas Daily Dispatch rapid response on the breaking news stories Texas progressives need to know. I'm Chris Mosier. In the wake and continued reverberations from the killing of Renee Good, a great many Americans are imagining themselves in the midst of an ICE confrontation. And while it appears that agency's policy is to assault people and ask questions later, it is important for all of us to understand our rights when it comes to Trump's goon squad. Tiffany Jackson at the Fort Worth Star-Telegram takes a crack at explaining all of this. While ICE officers have very limited authority over U.S. citizens, it is important to understand how that line can be blurred should one of them end up looking for an excuse to arrest you. Obviously, physically obstructing an ICE arrest or refusing to back away from an officer is likely to be framed as impeding their duties, a pretext an ICE officer can use to lay hands on you. We've seen the growing pile of videos of ICE being verbally berated by bystanders in protest. Speech alone interference is likely defensible in court, as long as there's no close proximity physical interference with an officer or personal physical assistance for a person they're actively trying to arrest. You generally have a First Amendment right to record video of ICE agents in public spaces like sidewalks or parks, but again, you can't get in the way physically, and any recording must be done from a safe distance. Safe, of course, a highly subjective term that's largely up to the officer at the moment. We highly encourage our listeners to be alert to ICE activity near their homes and in their towns, and to document what those agents are doing. But generally, a physical interaction with an ICE agent is unlikely to go your way either at the time or later in court. So protest smart, y'all. ICE officers, in summary, don't have the same power over you that local or state police do, but here in Texas, as we know, that line is getting less and less well-defined all the time. Abby Schultz, writing for UT Austin's Daily Texan, reminds us that Senate Bill 8, which went into effect at the beginning of the year, gives sheriffs in Texas counties with populations over 100,000 until the end of this year to enter into 287G agreements with ICE. Those agreements delegate federal immigration authority to local law enforcement, and over 160 Texas sheriff's offices have already signed up. The concern here is obvious. The difference between local police, who are entrusted to protect and serve our neighborhoods, and federal ICE agents, whose task is to hunt down suspected undocumented immigrants with no limit placed on racial profiling, will soon be erased. And thus any Texan who fits that profile, regardless of their personal citizenship status, will soon have every reason to dread any interaction with any Texas law enforcement officer. As we frequently do, we refer you to the Lone Star Left Substack by Michelle Davis for a harrowing update she sent out this morning on how ICE has not backed down but escalated their actions in Minneapolis. Quote, ICE is now kicking down front doors looking for immigrants without warrants, unquote. And Michelle reminds us that while Minnesota is in the spotlight right now, 1 in 4 ICE arrests nationally since the Trump crackdown began have happened right here in the Lone Star State. See the show notes for that link. Elon Musk hasn't been in the news just a whole lot lately, but he's sure back in it now. Jessica Cha at KBUW in Austin says Texas House Democrats are urging Attorney General Ken Paxton to investigate Musk's X platform and its AI chatbot Grok over its apparent great utility in the creation of non-consensual, sexually explicit images, frequently sexualized deepfakes of real children. State Representative Mihaela Plessin notes that recent software updates allow X users to easily and conveniently undress photos of actual people and to pose those subjects, including minors, in suggestive ways using simple text prompts. Apparently 7,000 of these images are appearing on the hour on X lately, raising serious concerns about child exploitation and the violation of Texas state law requiring age verification for sites with significant sexual content. In summary, Elon Musk's X is now not only a cesspool for discourse, but it's also apparently now a disgusting machine for AI-generated child porn. The Texas House Democratic Caucus has demanded that Paxton and his office open a formal investigation into whether X, XAI, Grok, or related tools accessible in Texas have been being used in this way. Spoiler, they totally have. investigate whether Musk and X are in compliance with Texas age verification requirements under state law, issue a public enforcement and reporting pathway for victims and parents in Texas, and provide written guidance to platforms operating in Texas on compliance expectations, including meaningful age gating for sexually explicit material. Now that Democrats have asked for all of this, let's see if Ken Paxton instead chooses to ignore Elon Musk's disgusting new digital tool for armchair pervert Twitter trolls to exploit any child whose picture has been posted anywhere on the internet ever. Logging onto that platform at all just feels totally gross at this point. Meanwhile, and here's some classic timing for you, Trump Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has been hanging around Texas lately, and he took a tour of Elon Musk's SpaceX compound at Boca Chica yesterday. The AP says that right on the heels of this foul Grok AI child porn scandal, Hegseth has announced a new initiative to integrate Grok into the Pentagon's data systems at a moment when the governments of the UK, Malaysia, Indonesia, and others are doing the exact opposite, blocking Grok from any use in their countries and or opening investigations into the harm it's capable of. Hegseth says Grok will go live inside the Defense Department later this month, and that the plan is to feed it access to just about all of our military and intelligence data. What could possibly go wrong? Something to catch tonight, everybody. 6:30 p.m., Tuesday, January 13th, the statewide online meet and greet session hosted by the funky East Dallas Democrats, better known as the Feds, featuring a bunch of statewide Democratic candidates here in Texas, including both Democrats running for Senate, Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett and State Rep James Tallarico. See the link in the show notes to register. That starts at 6:30 tonight. Early voting in the March primary starts on February 17th. See the show notes for a Texas 2026 March primary ballot form from the Texas Tribune that you can use right now with your home address to see who's running in the primary in which you choose to vote. Super handy and something you should start looking at right now. Of course, everything you need to know about voting can be found at our website, govotetexas.org. Our mission at Progress Texas is to improve and save Texans' lives by acting on our shared, bold, progressive values. And that starts with countering the billionaire and corporate-funded disinformation machine. While we enjoy the support of hundreds of partners, chances are that you, dear listener, haven't joined the team yet. If you're a regular, let's get you on board right now. Huge thanks to monthly supporters Carla Schoonover Porter, Diane Roberts, and Ed Limbaugh. We appreciate all of you very, very much. Join them and the team at ProgressTexas.org. We've joined the lineup of the legendary KPFT radio in Houston, and we're now reaching voters in Texas's largest and most diverse city. With your support, we hope to replicate this effort beyond Houston into the top 5 Texas media markets in 2026. Hit the link in the show notes to make your tax-deductible donation today and help us continue reaching new audiences via Texas radio. That's the Progress Texas Daily Dispatch for this Tuesday, January 13th, 2026. Links to all these original stories can be found in our show notes. Progress Texas is an independent, nonprofit, rapid response media organization. While campaigns come and go, we're the permanent home for progressive media and action in the Lone Star State. I'm Chris Mosier. Thanks for listening. Have a great day. We'll catch you again tomorrow morning.